Good evening, good evening, good evening. From the Channel 9 studio, this is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. I am he, Mr. 33. And what a weekend we had this weekend. We had the NBA playoffs starting yesterday. We had Wrestlemania 42 starting yesterday and ending today. We will get to that in a moment. But first and foremost, let us go ahead and look at these NBA scores, as this is normally an NBA weekend or Sunday recap. But today, because of what happened this weekend, my 33 brother, what up, though? We're gonna touch on this. We're gonna touch on these NBA playoff games today, so we can just hop right on to that mania situation because we got a lot to talk about over there in the square circle. But let's just go on over here and look at the scores from today. Now, uh, yesterday we had all the home teams winning. Will that trend continue today? We'll start in Boston, where the Celtics hosted the 76ers in the 2-7 seed. Excuse me. And the Celtics had their way with Philly. 123 to 91 was the final. Leading scorer for the leading scorer for Boston is Jalen Brown. No, excuse me, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum had 25 and 11 and 7. Jalen Brown had 26. Tyrese Maxey, of course, led the Celtics. Excuse me, the Sixers as their leading scorer. As you see Jalen Brown shooting 11 to 21 for 26. Tatum had 25, shooting 9 of 17 with 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Uh, the whole starting five for Boston had double figures. The lowest was Derek White with 10. You didn't really need the bench to come off and be offensive, but Peyton Pritchard led them off the bench with 12 for the Celtics. Looking at the Sixers, you got Maxey shooting 8 of 20 with 21 points, followed by Paul George, who only shot the ball 8 times but had 17 points. Went to the free throw line a lot. Oubre had 10. Edgecombe 13 in his first playoff experience. Uh, no real support from the bench. Justin Edwards led the team with 7 points off the bench. So with this win, the Celtics take the 1-0 lead. I believe their next game is on the 21st. But, we know the Celtics is going to live and die by threes, and that's exactly what they did today. So, big win for the Celtics. Once again, their score was 123 to 91. In Oklahoma City, the 1-8 seed, the Thunder versus the 8 seed Suns, and the Thunder with a 119 to 84 win. This game was never close. First quarter they was up by 15, and then the Thunder didn't look back. Let's start with the Suns. The Suns, Devin Booker had 23, 8 of 17 shooting. Dylan Brooks had 18 with a horrible shooting day, 6 of 22. No help from the center. Jalen Green had 17, but once again, no help from their bench, as their bench was a no-show. Rasheed Fleming led their bench with 9 points. Like I said, it wasn't even close. With the Thunder, let's look at the Thunder. We know SGA leads the team with points, and he did again today with 25 points, even though he shot 5 of 18. But he was 15 of 17 from the foul line. Jalen Williams had 22. Chet Holmgren had 16. Lou Dort had 8. And off the bench, You had Isaiah Joe with 9, and AJ Mitchell with 9, and then a balanced scoring from the bench. So with this win, the uh, the Thunder takes a 1-0 lead, and I believe their first game is either Tuesday or Wednesday. Oh, excuse me, their second game. I said their first. I'm tripping. Don't mind me. Uh, in Detroit, the Pistons host the Magic, and you could say it's an upset because it's a 1-8. It's a 1-18 or 1-8 seed game. The Orlando Magic with a 112 to 101 win. Uh, the Magic started off hot. Detroit tried to get close, but in the end, the Magic pulled away with. I don't want. It was, yeah. You could say it's a surprising win. We're not gonna say an upset. We're gonna say a surprising win. Paulo Bencaro leads his squad with 23 points, 8 rebounds. Uh, Franz Wagner had 19. Wendell Carter had 17. Jalen Suggs 16, and Desmond Bain, even though he had off night shooting, was 17. Their bench was, it wasn't, it was just, it was non-existent. But because of the balanced scoring from the starting five, that's what gave them the win. As Tristan Da Silva and Anthony Black led the bench with 7 points each, even though only 4 people came off the bench. For Detroit, you had Cade Cunningham, 39 points, uh, 39, 5, and 4. You had Tobias Harris with 17. Duncan Robinson only had 9. Asura Thompson and Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren, his game was a little quiet today because he only took 4 shots, but he had 8. And off the bench, which will normally, they won't have. I don't think they'll have another game like this where Dennis Jenkins is leading the team with 6 points on 1 for 7 shooting. I don't think that'll happen in game two. I don't think that game gonna be closer. But with this win, Orlando takes the 1-0 lead, and they play on. I think they play on the 21st as well. And this game just coming to an end. The San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trailblazers. The 2-7 seed Portland loses 98 to 111. Uh, this was the first playoff game for Victor Wembanyama, and he actually came to lead his team. Dennis Avdija led Portland with 30. Uh, Scoot Henderson had 18. Drew Holiday had 9 on 4-15 shooting. Klingon had his hands full, and he showed because he only scored 4 points. And Kamara had 8. Off the bench, Robert Williams III led the. Maybe I'm seeing things. Robert Williams III did lead the bench squad with 11 points. Jeremy Grant had a quiet game, 5 points. Only 2 players came off the bench and scored points, which is why they did not win. Now, when you watch the Spurs, watch the difference. You got De'Aaron Fox with 17. You got Stephon Castle with 17. You got Devin Vassell with 15. You didn't have nothing from Champagne, but Victor Wembanyama had 35, 13 and 21 shooting. Oh, he only had 5 rebounds, but he was effective in that lane with only 2 blocks, but he affected much more shots. Victor Wembanyama with 35 points. This is the he in his first game. That's a record. He broke Tim Duncan's rookie record with 32 in his first game. So congratulations to the Spurs. They did what they needed to do. Uh, like I said, with this win, the Spurs go. For those of you that just coming in, I'm not looking at my chat. This is Sports Chat with Mr. 33. Just going over the NBA scores as the playoffs started this weekend, and now it is final for the first for the weekend. So game two's tomorrow is going to be Cleveland versus Toronto. Cleveland with a 1-0 lead at 7. The Knickerbockers play the Hawks. The Knickerbockers are up 1-0, and the Nuggets, is the night game. They will play the T Wolves, and uh, the Nuggets are up 1-0. Now, who did I say it was starting Tuesday? The Sixers and Celtics are Tuesday. The Spurs, Trailblazers Tuesday. Rockets and Lakers are Tuesday. So that means the Pistons go to Wednesday, and the Piston Magic is Wednesday, and the Suns and the Thunder are Wednesday. So those are all the games twos that are coming forward. So now that we got that part out the way, okay, welcome in Malik Rose Tismizona. I hope I'm saying your name right, but if I'm not, then I'm not. Now, we saw tonight, I don't know if you guys got the opportunity to watch WrestleMania 42. Saturday, we saw two matches on ESPN2 where the Usos did what they had to do against the Vision and I Show Speed. And I Show Speed, after being ridiculed for the loss, got his vengeance back on Logan Paul by jumping off the turnbuckle, or jumping off the turnbuckle pole and splashing him across the table. And then we saw Jacob Fatu handle business against Drew McIntyre. But today was the show. Today was what a lot of people was anticipating. So we're going to go right there, and we're going to start right there. We're going to start with the very first match that came on ESPN tonight, and that was Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Obafemi came out first. Brock Lesnar, of course, came out with Paul Heyman. And Brock started off with a stalemate as they tried to do the lockup. Nobody budged. Brock tried to shoulder block him. Oba didn't move. He tried again. He didn't move. Oba clothesline him, made him fall. They go outside. Brock picks him up, starts to take advantage using the pole, the ring post pole, doing a little bit of damage to Oba. Gets him back in the ring. After that, we had Brock hitting him with an F5. Brock Lesnar hit Obafemi with an F5. Obafemi, in return, stumbles to get up, choke slams him. Then he hits him with the fall from grace. Is that what it's called? The fall from grace? It's pretty much a power bomb. And after that move, he gets the 3 count. So Obafemi defeats Brock Lesnar. After the match is what a lot of people may be shocked about. So after the match, he's laying there. He's trying to get himself together. He gets up. He sits up. He takes his gloves off. He takes his shoes off. He takes the padding off. Leaves it in the ring. Walks out. He looks at Paul Heyman. He threw up the X sign. I can't do it no more. I can't go anymore. So in other words, Brock Lesnar retired after the defeat to Obafemi. First and foremost, we know Brock Lesnar has been a very dominant force in the WWE for a long time. He's fought people like The Rock. He fought John Cena. He fought Roman Reigns. He fought the greats of the greats. He's been in many different eras. He fought many different foes. Hey, Golden Wing Spirit Orb. Welcome in. Right? So when you got somebody that dominant, he fought Goldberg. Like when you got somebody that dominant who's been doing it for over 20 years, we have to remember that he was spanned from different eras, from 2002 to today, tonight. Uh, I don't care about the we don't care about the suplexes. I ain't butchered nothing because at the end of the day, whatever Brock did, he jumped up from an S5. So what is a suplex going to do? But I understand what you're saying, bro. I do, right? But this is more about the quickness. Well, that's another story. The quick the fast defeat. That segment's gonna go on and on and on. But yeah, he decided to retire. Shout out, my congratulations to Brock because the same way he whooped on John Cena, it was reciprocated to him, and he took it like a champ. Even in the promos, when Obafemi did what he wanted to do to him, he took it on the chin, right? And he sold them all. He sold all the power bombs, fall from grace, whatever you want to call that. Uh, he sold them all. And now, we got to say congratulations to Brock Lesnar. Uh, there's no doubt sooner or later he's going to be in the Hall of Fame uh, like AJ Styles. But I don't think they saw this coming. I don't think nobody saw this coming. But the way he sold it is that he felt like he couldn't compete with this young man or these kids anymore. I don't think he looked at a powerhouse Hobbs and thought he can defeat that. I know once that defeat to Obafemi, it made him say, you know what, I'm hanging it up. But he had a great run. Whenever he came back, he was dominant. He defeated the Undertaker. What you say? The suplex set up the F5 plus that part of his brand. But who? But ain't nobody. But that's the thing, right? He did the three suplexes. He did the F5. Ain't nobody get up that quick from that. I think when he saw that, I just think he said, "Yo, it's time to go." But he did a great, like I said, he did a great job in what he did tonight. He made Oba that dominant to where he said, "Yo, I'm going to sit down." Yeah, he couldn't. I don't think he could have. I don't think he could have let Gunther retire him. I think that would have looked at that would have looked at crazy to him. That would have looked at crazy to a lot of us. And so because of that, I think he said, you know what, man, let me hang this up right now because this kid right here, he made me look bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, Brock sold a lot of it, but overlooked it very dominant, even in that 3 minute control that Brock had with the three suplexes and the stuff that happened outside and him going in the ring, the F5, the man, he just bounced back like he bounced up like it was nothing. So I'm like, wow, ain't that crazy? Uh, but yeah, congratulations to Brock. Right, that's what I'm saying. I know he looked back like, yo, because if we remember well, right, Goldberg didn't do that. Big Show didn't do that. Mark Henry, like none of the yesterdays done that. And we know Goldberg was toughest of the tough. He didn't even do this. He didn't make Brock look that small. Now, I know what y'all gonna say because a lot of the time, uh, he was younger back then, but this was more of a passing of like my 33 brother says, the passing of the torch. This it's a new season. It's in good hands with Obafemi. Now we gotta wait and see how they're going to control this era with Obafemi. But we'll talk about that down the road because, like I said, we had a lot to talk about because I'm pissed off about the whole weekend in totality. But I'm gonna digress. Then, like the ladder match. The ladder match consisted of JD McDonough, Rusev, Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. This match, to me, this match could have went longer. Uh, everybody, everybody had their moment. We saw Rusev with the moment with the ladder, controlling the high flyers before they could start flying. We saw Rey Mysterio get doing the best that he could with the 619s running up and it was hot garbage juice. You's a hater. You's a hater. You's a hater. Uh, Javon Evans, he just bouncy like that. When he caught Rusev off that ladder with the OG cutter, that was ill. The way he got up there to catch somebody else off the ropes on the ladder, that was like we saw why ladder matches. They need more ladder matches. They have the right crews to do that now. Like I said, you got the Dragon Lee. It won't probably be the same people, but those four in particular: Dragon Lee, Penta, uh, Javon Evans. Those three in particular. JD McDonough. Listen. We knew that somebody was gonna take them bumps. JD was one of those guys. You saw corkscrew drivers. Uh, you saw a whole bunch of stuff happening. We saw Rusev go through the ladder. We saw a lot, but in the end, Penta does retain the belt as he climbed the ladder and and took the belt off the hanger, off the whatever you want to call that. So Penta does retain. Uh, like I said, for me that match could have went longer, but that's going to be the theme of everything that we go through tonight. Uh, the United States Championship match: Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Y'all know Trick Williams. He had those lemon pepper steppers coming through. Uh, but off the gate, they started fighting. As soon as the bell started, Sammy tried to take Trip out on the apron. Little Yali got in the middle of that. Uh, after Sammy hits him with the brain buster, he tried to hit him with the Luva kick. Yachty then turned on Sammy and got in the middle of that, and Trick hit him with the high knee. That's what they say. You ain't saying it. Sports Illustrated ain't say that though. But nah, Trick Williams hit him with the trick shot and got the victory, got the 3 count. Congratulations to Trick Williams. First time in a title on WrestleMania, he wins the belt. Commander, what's going on with you, Commander? Welcome in, welcome in. The Lady of the Nines in the building. Like I said, Trick we was all looking forward to Trick winning, but I don't think we expected him to win that fast. But, it's his time to shine now. So congratulations, Trick Williams, on becoming the U.S. champion. I tell you this much, I don't think he's going to be putting that belt on the line like Carmelo Hayes and them. But that's another story for another day. We had the street fight between Dirty Dom and Finn Balor. Dom he had the control early in the match. Dom hitting the frog splash and Finn Balor jumps out, distracted him. Then as Dom dodged coup de grace, he ends up hitting him with a 619. But Finn Balor gets up off of that. He did another frog after the second frog splash, turns around, hits the coup de grace a second time, and gets the victory. So listen, I don't know what they was doing tonight with these matches and things like that, but Finn does win. But like I said, these matches were too quick. Then we got the women's championship match, Jade versus Rhea. Uh, Jade started off, with her dominance. Jade did a lot of work tonight. She showed she been really working this WrestleMania because we know the prior WrestleMania we was told she didn't know what she was doing. She was injuring people this time the third. Tonight was clean though. Yeah, you that's the Finn Balor that people was waiting for. That's what he left out being in that group. But sometimes you got to pull out all the stops when you by yourself, and so that's what happened tonight. Uh, Finn Balor made himself look like the Finn Balor of old, so that's why he looked as great as he did tonight. But Jade, she had B-Fab and them in the corner. Then all of a sudden we see EO come out and doing moonsaults to the floor and getting in the mix of the thing between B-Fab and Meechin. Uh, After all that occurs, Rhea catches Jade with a riptide. Now, I'ma just say this: Jade was pulling out moves that she has not done before. One wing angels. She was doing all this, and Rhea was just getting up. And then for Rhea to just come back from all of that to hit her with the riptide was surprising to me. Got the 3 count afterwards. So Rhea Ripley is now the women's champion. She will be on SmackDown because that's the belt that she just won. Uh, I didn't, like I said, I'm kind of pissed off about this match because they made Jade Cargill look good just for her to lose to Rhea Ripley. Now I don't know what that means for the rest of the things, but like I said, we'll have that conversation after we go through all this, and then we saw Danhausen in the mini housings. I ain't gonna call them the M word. I'm gonna say the mini housings. They end up jumping on the Miz and Kit Wilson and them. That was a little funny little skit, but that was something for them to kill time because these matches was going by 15, 20, 25 minutes tops. I think the latter match was like maybe the longest match out of all of them, maybe 25 minutes, right? Uh, so Danhausen gets his moment in WrestleMania. John Cena's there, laughing and entertaining. You know what I mean? John Cena was just there pretty much. But then we get to the final match. We get to Roman Reigns versus Punk. Uh, the fight was on as soon as the Dunhausen. Yeah, he didn't curse the Miz tonight. He crushed him. he hit him in the little housings. He hit him down there with the little with the mini houses. But that was a crazy little scene. Uh, Roman and Punk. So they, Punk, he had a little advantage not in the beginning. Roman started off uh, playing around, trying to taking the Ulafala and wearing it and doing all this other stuff. Roman trying to put him out. Uh, Roman hit him with a guillotine, uh, and then Punk would turn it into a anaconda vice, then back into a guillotine. So they was really wrestling. They was really like oddly enough, they were trying to be technical like Bret Hart. Uh, then Punk started trying to do things Roman would do, a Superman punch, all type of crazy stuff. Then we got Punk up off the top rope to the table at the elbow. Uh, they kept getting out of kicks. They kicked out on each other's move, the go to sleeps, the Superman punches. Then after that, Roman said he got tired of it, and then he hit him with a couple spears. Uh, Roman tired him out. He was trying to Punk was trying to gain in momentum, but he couldn't hold on. He was running out of energy and time because he was doing things he don't normally do. So Roman hits him with a couple of spears, gets the 3 count, and Roman Reigns is now the world heavyweight champion, as he said he would do. Uh, that was the night of WrestleMania 2. I'm gonna go ahead and like tonight. A lot of the matches, I thought some of the matches were. I know the world title matches was great for me. Uh, I just needed those title matches. Well, I needed the women's title match to go a little bit longer. Like I said, Jade Cargill was ridiculed that she don't have long matches. She's not putting the moves in the right place. She's not doing the things she needs to do to sell herself as a champion. She did everything she needed to do tonight. She showed brand new moves and everything. And all of a sudden, because EO comes out, Rhea just wins the championship, and now she's the women's champion. I don't agree with that decision, but it's something. And like I said, that match was too quick because if you doing one wing angels and things like that, you paying homage to certain people that you used to work with from another company. That was Kenny Omega. Why are you allowing her to do these moves just for her to lose? You making her look great so she can lose. Now you made her title run look super crazy. You made it look like worthless because she beat on Meechin, she beat on B-Fat. They ended up getting beat so bad they joined the crew. They became a crew. Jordan Grace, she got injured. I guess she supposedly got injured by Jay. Came back, looked bad in the number one contenders match for the U.S. belt against Tiffany Stratton. Y'all gonna blame that on Jay too? Like I'm really disappointed in the way that they did Jay Cargill, and it's. I'm not saying it. It's not a race thing. I'm just saying if you're trying to build somebody up to be a champion, you got to put some worthy competitors in front of them, right? But this is the conclusion I came to, right? Realist, what's going on? What's going on with you? I was disappointed with all the women's title matches except for the tag team match. Oh man, listen, I'm so pissed. Listen, I'm upset with that. But even with that match, Realist, this is the conclusion that I came to. I came to the conclusion that they took the belt off of Jade, and I think they're gonna allow Rhea to go ahead against Lash Legend because she's been doing a lot of the work for the women's tag team champions, and even before they became champions, she had a great showing before that. Now we know that Rhea's the baby face of the group, and now we're gonna see some things to where I think Lash is gonna be like one of those people that's gonna rise up out of the division to be a number one contender. Now that they don't have the tag team championship, right? I don't know what's going on with Nia. Maybe Nia going, she's slimming down. She's looking great, but they might tell her to take a couple of days off type situations. Uh, that's what I see because that Paige is coming back and winning the belt. You know, it's been a while since that been done, but you know, this was more about the notoriety of the champions too, right? We saw the change of belt from Punk to Roman. Roman's hot. Rhea is always hot. Liv Morgan They maybe I think they felt like Stephanie, she ran her course, but they wanted Liv is hotter than Stephanie Vacquer as far as notoriety, names, things like that. Um, the Bellas, they're more notarized or they're more publicized, even though they ain't fighting 10 years. But y'all rather give them the belt. Forget Charlotte and Miss Bliss. Forget Bailey and Lyra, even though Lyra was the only one that had the tag team belts recently before the Irresistible Forces. Um, Trick Williams. As much as Sammy's been in the WWE, you see Trick name is notarized. The familiarity that got the crowd whooping that Trick and all that other stuff. Uh, so they going for the names. But now that WrestleMania is over, how are y'all going to like? It's going to be interesting. I was disappointed about the entire WrestleMania. Even going back Saturday, right? We knew that Seth Rollins was going to face one of the people. Shout out to my 33 brother, because I said Bronson Reed. It was Braun Breaker. My 33 brother called that out. It said, nah, Breaker's going to do it because he's closer to being healed than Bronson Reed. And that's exactly what happened. Then, Gunther wins his match. Uh, it like I said, and then all the matches not even lasting 20 minutes. Like they had more ads than wrestling. Right? I thought Danhausen's skit was going I thought Danhausen thing was gonna be the longest segment of the entire Sunday night. You know what I mean? But of course, Roman and them, they gave them a little grace and made them last just about. No, because that ended at 9:30. That was like a half an hour. If we was to go and look at how long each match was, I don't think nothing went over 35 minutes. And of course, and like I said, 6 and 6. Like, can they really have good matches in that limited time on the biggest stage in all of wrestling? I don't the outcomes were the outcomes. I just think that the action was subpar, and I get it. A lot of it was because the matches that they really wanted couldn't come to fruition. The Vision outbreak between Braun and Seth, he got injured, so they couldn't have that match. So now what they gonna do with Gunther? Right now we gotta sit back and wait and see what happens with Gunther. We already know that Breaker and Seth is gonna go at it 1-on-1. Uh, what they gonna do with the men's tag team on Raw? Uh, the Vision, right? They had a triple threat match. They didn't even have to put their belts up on the line. I, I, I just, as far as Jade, like I said, I just wanted her to cement like, I mean, she did beat Io, but if she would have beat Rhea Ripley, it would have meant more if she beat Rhea Ripley, right? Because we know Jade is a powerhouse, and Io's a tiny little thing. You know, Not everybody gonna give her credit for that win. She did what she was supposed to do. Now, if she'd have beat Rhea, would have been a different story. But of course, they didn't. That didn't happen. So I'm just ready to see what they're gonna do with Jade now. Is she gonna take it out on Meechin and them, or they gonna stop dealing with her? Uh, it's hard. Also, we're gonna say congratulations to Bianca Belair, as she said Saturday she is now pregnant. So congratulations to her and Montez Ford. That's gonna put her out a little bit longer, which may help her injured finger or her knuckle or whatever it is, her injured hand, as she is now becoming a mom. We we also maybe that's why they just took the belt from Jade because Bianca's pregnant. I don't, you know, we speculate, we come up with our own WWE theories, but you know, congratulations to her and Montez. It don't explain why Dawkins been missing. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. I don't think they knew what to do with Angelo Dawkins, so they just kept him in the cuts or back. Not backstage. What do you call those dark matches and stuff like that? NXT places like that. But you know, like I said, maybe this will help Bianca get herself together if she decides to come back. Which also means they may be bringing Naomi back soon because she got, you know, her baby's out, but you know she may be back by SummerSlam. Who knows? But once again, congratulations to that couple, Bianca and Montez. Um, yeah, I just think overall, uh, they the matches itself, I think they did more harm than justice. But like I said, I get it because they didn't have the matches that they wanted. They just wanted to get in and get it over with. But that I think that hurt the WrestleMania. This is easily you could say this is one of the poorest WrestleManias that they had in a long, long time. Even though Roman won the belt, even though Rhea won the belt, this was what the length and time of the matches I think harmed them. If they would have had a dragged out match between Jade and Rhea, that would have been more acceptable. I just think that you know the matches, like I said, if you really look at it, Tay, what up, Nine? How you doing? You know what I mean? If you're gonna make the girls represent, you're gonna make the woman represent, make them represent as if they know what they're doing. Don't just give them those quick matches and then turn around and make them disappear. Um, you know, it just like I said, it did a lot of damage. Like even with Stephanie Bucky and Liv, that's different because we knew the number game was gonna come out. But even that, they made Stephanie look weak, like she couldn't handle none of that stuff that happened, right? And you know, like I said, the fact that they did like 6 matches in like 20 minutes, like an hour and a half, and then had the rest of the show damn near like advertisements. Like you can't do all of that stuff, man. That makes the product look bad. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it hurt a lot. It hurt a lot of it. Like no, if someone enjoyed this WrestleMania, hey, more power to you. I couldn't enjoy it because, like I said, you if you was there and went to get some popcorn and came back, the match was over. That's how fast these matches were. And like I said, I think it did more harm than good. But you know, we got tomorrow, and we get to find out what they're going to do. The following of the show, we'll probably hear from Roman. Uh, Shout out to Roman. He had his family there. He had his children there. His people there. They got to celebrate with him. Uh, you know when now this is going to be the funny part because both Punk and AJ, even when AJ lost to Becky, like now she want to step away. If she's stepping away, what did y'all give her the belt for? Because she's stepping away just to have the title match of AJ versus Becky. Y'all could have did that with Brie Bella and Becky. You see what I'm saying? Like those names would have been the same. So now that Paige is here, what are y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna make her run? Y'all gonna make her fight for the title, or y'all just gonna make her tag team title? Because Brie got to come back sooner or later. So what? How that's gonna work? So now the WrestleMania season is officially over. We starting to head towards SummerSlam and Backlash and all of these other pay-per-views. How do we go from here? Matter of fact, is there a Saturday Night Main Event coming up in May? I'm not even sure. I thought so, but I might be wrong. But Now we got to sit back and just watch what happens starting tomorrow. So, we're here for that. But it's just going to be interesting. We know Steph is going to come out and say, Braun, bring your ass out here, whatever, whatever. I'm interested to see Paul Heyman, because if Paul Heyman wasn't acting the way when Brock announced his retirement, I don't know if he was ready for that. You know what I mean? But I know he got the vision. He got to represent Braun Breaker. I don't know if he's going to be ready. You know, I don't know if he's emotionally ready for that, because Paul been around for a while. We can easily say he's been around since the early '90s, maybe the late '80s. We can say that for sure. But he hasn't been attached to certain people like that. Like, when he did the Dangerous Alliance with Stone Cold. Well, he was Steve Austin and things like that, right? Then he comes over here. He got Brock. He brings his ECW guys here, but Brock was his guy, right? It didn't matter. Um, you know, Brock was his go-to guy. He did manage Punk. He did the Bloodline, but Brock was his guy. He was in Brock. He was with Brock when he stopped the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. So I don't know if he if he was faking it, he did a hell of a job. That looked hell of real to me, because I because he did the X to Paul, like, I can't do this no more, Paul. And he's like, oh my God, this is it. And like, this is it, and threw the X up. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, get well soon, realist. Appreciate you. You my guy always. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it was just the way. You know, I don't know if Paul's going to be ready for tomorrow. He's a professional. He'll probably get through it tomorrow, but it's going to be a lot because, like I said, the vision is coming back together now. Well, Breaker's vision. They got belts in the vision now. The tag belts is in the vision. Then now Breaker's coming back. So now Paul gotta get on his game. He gonna try to find a way to get Braun Breaker into a title match. Maybe that'll be something for him and Roman to do. You know. Um, that's the beauty of wrestling, is that they gotta do their part with the storytelling. People always say, I always say I can't watch AEW because I can't get with the storyline, right? They can have great matches, but if you don't know why the hell they fighting like this, what's the point of watching? You know what I mean? But with WWE, they normally do a good job with the storytelling. Like, we understood the situation with Jacob and Drew McIntyre, right? We understood why they couldn't stand each other. Jacob, like, yo, you cost me my title shot. We gonna go at it all the time. I think you did it. Even though we got people like Solo putting doubts in Jacob's head. Like, did he really do it? Do we know who did it? You know what I mean? Like, but the storyline is that, okay, I know why. We saw the Randy Orton story. Right? Randy, you put me through the table. You made me look like I can't hang with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, WWE is gonna be on top for a little while longer, because their storytelling with the matches is what keep it. You make it a soap opera. Then you make that damn near a male soap opera. I mean, they got females in it, but wrestling is a soap opera. You could, all right, like the way Punk lost tonight, he might want a rematch. Then he might fight Braun Breaker to be a number one contender. Then Seth Rollins might get in the middle of that just for Braun Breaker not to win. Or they might make it a triple threat. You see how many different stories that just came up just out of that one little conversation or that one little topic? That's what makes WWE the powerhouse that it is. But when you get the opportunity of fumbling the ball, which I think they did this weekend, you leave opportunities for other people. I don't think AEW had the storytellers to do it. Like I said, we've been trying to get involved. We've been trying to get into it. Like I said, they pay per views are great. Me and Realist had this conversation a long time, right? AEW they have those great pay per views, but we that's just the wrestling aspect. We don't even know why they fighting like that. They just be fighting like that just to put on a show, right? To put on a wrestling show. WWE is more than just a wrestling show, and I think that's the difference between WWE and all the other ones. Even if you go to TNA, it's a drag story. They got some great wrestlers in TNA, but if the story is dragging, what are we worried? Like, how could you get into it? Especially when you've been watching wrestling over the years. Now, a newcomer might not feel the way I feel, but when you've been watching the story since Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man, you try to steal my girl, this, that, and the third, or the Hardys versus Edge and Christian, you try to steal Lita, Triple H, and or Stephanie in China. Yo, you messed me up because you stole my man, Stephanie. Like those stories, and then those stories were like real stories. So like, yo, they turned that into like a soap opera, right? Like the punk in Roman segment. I hate you. Well, I'm gonna bury you next to your dad. That felt like, yo, they gonna kill each other. You can't say that about somebody dead family member, but you know what I mean. They sold that. Yo, I'm gonna smash you, and then I'm gonna make you retire. He said, I'm gonna make you retire. We're gonna send you down to NXT, and you're gonna send them up to me, and I'm gonna smash them because I smashed you. I'm paraphrasing, but you know what I mean? You hear the anger and the frustration, the way he sold that story. And then they went out there and they was trying to kill each other with their opponent's move. Roman pulled out a guillotine. Roman ain't used the guillotine since like 2021. That's how much he wanted to put him out. You see what I'm saying? That's the storytelling. That's the thing that we missed in this WrestleMania, right? It didn't match the story. The only one that matched was Roman and Punk. Oba versus Brock. Oba versus Brock was so good that nobody even saw the retirement coming after that match. That was a shocker. We all thought Oba was gonna win, but we ain't know who he was gonna put that man in the retirement. You see what I'm saying? Those are the shocks, the surprises. Now this WrestleMania, we didn't have no legends come out and interfere, no matches and things like that. That was different. You know what I mean? Last year we had Rock and Cena and Travis Scott, and you know what I mean? We still had we had a couple legends come through and make an appearance. We didn't have no legends come through this year. You see what I'm saying? But now that this season is over, now we got to get ready. Like I said, for the tag team divisions on both Raw and SmackDown. How long is R-Truth and Priest gonna hold on to that belt? What they gonna do with the Vision belt on the tag team side? Penta had a great match, a great Intercontinental match, ladder match. Is he gonna be ready to show out Friday on SmackDown? Trick won the belt. I don't think he's gonna do what Carmelo and them did. I just expect Carmelo to say, now that you won, I want my rematch. Right? Like I said, the story is the things that we are anticipating, our expectations of a thing. We're guesstimating, right? Maybe it happens, maybe it don't. I just want to see what happened with Jade. What's going to happen with Lash Legend in them now that they don't have the belt? Are they going to be able to have a rematch, or the Bellas going to try to keep the belt on Raw? The Bellas and Paige. Or they going to give it back and let Paige be a single competitor once again? She going to face Becky Lynch? Like, there's so many ways that this thing could go. But like I said, that's the beauty of the WWE. But while I'm disappointed with the way WrestleMania went, I'm a little bit excited because I don't know where it's going to go after the show. We'll start to find out tomorrow night, as far as where they're going to go with the the world championship with Roman, the tag belts, the intercontinental belt. Uh, we're gonna find out. It starts tomorrow. What Seth gonna do now that he found out that Breaker's coming back? So now we got leeway to what's going to happen Monday, and we will be here tomorrow night to have that conversation as well. Uh, I must have missed something. Um, you know what I mean? It's a lot going on, and like I said, even with that, we still got the NBA playoffs. We got the NHL playoffs starting today as well. I didn't really get into the scores because I wanted to come on here with the NBA scores and to talk about WrestleMania. I don't know how everybody else felt. To me, like I said, it was a little bit off. Like by far the Roman and Punk match was the best match they had. Bar none. It don't even matter. They made Gunther look like he can't win on his own, but that momentum for Breaker and Seth is what they've been looking for the whole entire time. It just happened at WrestleMania. The match didn't happen at WrestleMania because he was injured. So we're getting ready to see where the storytelling goes from here. And like I said, I'm excited about it. You know, Even like I said, the Mania season is over. Now we starting to push towards the summertime. We got SummerSlam coming down the line in the next few months, but they're gonna have some events before that. They're gonna have a couple pay-per-views before. I think there's one in May. I can't remember which one it is, but we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. Um, you know, we got that. Like I said, we got that. We got 3 games tomorrow. I forgot. I know the Knicks is playing. I know. What was the 10:30 game? I think it's the Lakers. I don't even remember. It's a 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock and a 9:30, 10 o'clock game. It's 3 games tomorrow. 3 games Tuesday. We'll be able to talk about that tomorrow. I just know the Knicks play at 8 o'clock, and somebody played before them. It's an Eastern Conference game too. It's Cleveland and the Raptors. Cleveland Raptors, Knicks Hawks. That's 7. The next game is at 8, and there's a West Coast game. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the Nuggets and T-Wolves. That's the 3rd game. So we'll be here to talk about that tomorrow, as well as what happened on Raw. But that's all. I mean, I don't know how everybody else felt in the chat, about the show and stuff like that. But Realist, my guy, I don't know what's going on with you, my guy. It says you said you were recovering. I appreciate. I didn't. I just hope you get well soon. You might. You the day one. You the guy that I've known. You the guy that I've known the longest on here. You know what I mean? And the same love that I give to anybody, I'm gonna give to you as well. You've been very supportive of me. I gotta return the favor. I don't like if we chat it up, we chat it up. But I just if you just get yourself together, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you on here. While you recouping and things like that. But when you get well, I know Realist is gonna be back. He gonna be back in business. He gonna tell everybody, hey, continue to act accordingly. Now we just want you to, get yourself well so you can tell us to act accordingly. Like I'm back, so y'all really better act accordingly because I had to take care of myself. Now I'm back in business. You know what I'm saying? We just want you to get well, man. Chill out. Whatever you're going through, rest up, man. Rest up. It's like as Busted Down say, you got to take care of yourself now. You know what I mean? You've done so much for other people. Now it's time for a realist to be real with himself and just take care of himself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So whatever you need, if we can help, we got you. You know what I mean? I, and in honor of that, this show is really, the show really wants realists to get better. So we gonna dedicate this show to him because I know he probably ain't get to see all of WrestleMania because he recovering, probably days dozing off on the show. Because like I said, Saturday it was a doozy. I promise you. I know he probably took a nap and probably missed two matches because it was probably a half hour in between two matches. So you know what I mean. This show is for him because we capped both Saturday and Sunday, and that's for my guy. That's for the realest one in the building. But of course, we know who gave us the scores and the highlights, who sponsored that, who made that possible. That's the 9%. Where a better you is a better us. Y'all know. With that being said, we'll be back in the next 23 hours. Like I said, to speak about tomorrow, what happened, Raw, NBA final. Excuse me, not the NBA finals, the NBA playoffs. We'll be back then. So from the Channel 9 studio, this is Mr. 33 signing off. I'll see you guys in 23 hours.